Today, we explore a fascinating Star Wars what if. What if Darth Vader survived? Imagine a redeemed Anakin Skywalker alive after Return of the Jedi, facing a galaxy forever changed. How would Luke, Leia, and the New Republic react? Let's find out.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Empire has fallen. The Death Star is destroyed and the galaxy breathes a collective sigh of relief. But on the forest moon of Endor, as the flames of battle die down, a new story begins. This is a tale of redemption, conflict, and the struggle to reconcile the past with the future. What if the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, survived the events of Return of the Jedi? What would become of the galaxy and of the man once known as Anakin Skywalker? This is the story of how one of the greatest villains in the galaxy attempts to find redemption, and how his survival alters the fate of the Star Wars universe forever. The Death Star shudders under the impact of the Rebel fleet's final assault. The throne room is engulfed in chaos as Emperor Palpatine lies defeated, his death marked by a resounding explosion. Luke Skywalker struggles to carry his father, now free from the Emperor's grasp, through the crumbling halls of the battle station. Vader's breathing is labored, his body weakened by the Emperor's deadly lightning. As they reach the hangar, the Millennium Falcon swoops in for a daring rescue. Han Solo and Chewbacca, risking everything for their friend, help Luke bring the broken body of Vader aboard. Leia watches in shock as they haul in the man who was once her greatest enemy. The Falcon blasts away from the Death Star just as it erupts in a blinding explosion, signaling the end of the Empire, or so it seems. Word spreads quickly throughout the galaxy. Darth Vader, the Emperor's enforcer and the symbol of Imperial terror, is still alive. The rebellion, now transitioning into the New Republic, is thrown into turmoil. Celebrations are cut short as the news of Vader's survival ripples through the ranks. Some see this as an opportunity for justice, while others view it as a threat to the fragile peace they've just won. In the New Republic's provisional capital, Mon Mothma convenes an emergency council. Many of the galaxy's leaders demand Vader's execution, viewing him as the embodiment of the Empire's cruelty. Others, led by Luke Skywalker, argue that Vader, Anakin Skywalker, has returned to the light and must be given a chance to atone. The debate is fierce, with emotions running high. Meanwhile, Anakin is kept in a secure medical facility under constant guard as his body undergoes extensive repairs. Within the medbay, tension fills the air as Leia finally confronts her father. It's an encounter she's dreaded yet couldn't avoid. For years, she's known Darth Vader as the monster who tortured her, who destroyed her homeworld, and who hunted her friends. Now she sees him as something else entirely, a broken man stripped of his armor and reduced to the frail figure of Anakin Skywalker. Leia's emotions are a tempest. She lashes out, demanding answers, demanding to know why. Anakin, his voice weak but steady, speaks of his fall to the dark side, of how he was seduced by power and the promise of saving those he loved. He does not ask for forgiveness. He knows he doesn't deserve it. Instead, he offers Leia something he hasn't offered anyone in decades: his regret, his sorrow, and his willingness to help rebuild what he destroyed. Leia's response is complex. She sees the truth in his eyes but is unwilling to fully accept it. She leaves the room, unsure of how to reconcile the man before her with the monster of her memories. The path to forgiveness, if it ever comes, will be long and arduous. As Anakin heals, Luke finds himself in a new role, not just as his father's son, but as his mentor. Though Anakin was once the master and Luke the apprentice, the roles have reversed. Luke guides Anakin through the teachings of the light side, helping him reconnect with the Force in a way he hasn't experienced in years. But this process is fraught with difficulty. Anakin's guilt weighs heavily on him, and the dark side still calls, whispering of past glories and lost power. Luke is determined to keep his father on the path of redemption, but he knows it will not be easy. The bond between them grows stronger, but so too does Luke's fear that Anakin might not fully escape the shadows of his past. Yet, Luke remains hopeful, believing that the Force led him to save his father for a reason. The survival of Vader sends shockwaves through the political landscape of the New Republic. Planets that had suffered under the Empire's tyranny threaten to withdraw their support if Vader is allowed to live. Some senators, fearing the instability Vader's presence brings, push for his immediate trial and execution, arguing that justice must be swift to ensure the New Republic's legitimacy. But Luke's influence cannot be ignored. He argues passionately that the galaxy must learn from its mistakes, that redemption is a path the New Republic should champion. His words resonate with some, particularly those who view the New Republic as a chance to create a better, more just galaxy, one not ruled by fear or vengeance. However, extremist factions within the New Republic see Vader's continued existence as a threat that must be eliminated. Assassination plots begin to form, and the political landscape becomes a minefield, with different factions vying for control of the New Republic's future. While the New Republic struggles with its internal conflicts, the remnants of the Empire are far from defeated. Scattered across the galaxy, Imperial loyalists rally to the news that Vader is alive. Some see him as a potential leader who could reunite the fractured Empire and restore order to the galaxy. These loyalists begin to organize, hoping to draw Vader back into the fold. Others within the remnants view Vader's survival as a betrayal of the Sith ideals. They believe he has become weak, corrupted by the light, and must be destroyed to pave the way for a new leader who will restore the Sith to their former glory. This division among the Empire's remnants leads to infighting, further weakening their power but also creating unpredictable dangers throughout the galaxy. Rumors spread of dark side cults emerging from the shadows, hoping to reclaim Vader as their Dark Lord. They seek him out, hoping to rekindle the Sith's power and plunge the galaxy back into darkness. Anakin, aware of these movements, feels the pull of his past, the temptation to reclaim the power he once wielded. In the midst of these galactic tensions, Luke begins the daunting task of rebuilding the Jedi Order. He is determined to create an order that learns from the mistakes of the past, a Jedi Order that understands the balance between the light and dark sides of the Force. Anakin, now more Anakin than Vader, offers his insight into the dark side, serving as a cautionary figure to young Jedi. However, his involvement in the Jedi Order is controversial. Some of the new recruits struggle to trust a man who was once the most feared figure in the galaxy. Yet Anakin's presence also brings a unique perspective. He speaks of the dangers of absolute power, of how even the noblest intentions can lead one down a dark path. He becomes a mentor to those willing to listen, though his influence is limited by the lingering distrust many feel. Luke and Anakin work together to forge a new path for the Jedi, one that values compassion and understanding over rigid dogma. This new Jedi Order begins to take shape, but it faces challenges from all sides, both from those who fear the return of the Jedi and those who would rather see them extinct. As time passes, Anakin's past continues to haunt him. He is plagued by visions of those he wronged, the Jedi he slaughtered, the friends he betrayed, the family he destroyed. These ghosts of the past are a constant reminder of his sins, and they weigh heavily on his conscience. He seeks to atone for his actions, but he knows that some wounds can never fully heal. Despite his efforts to stay in the light, the galaxy's response to his survival is mixed. Some see him as a symbol of hope, proof that even the darkest souls can find redemption. Others view him as a ticking time bomb, waiting for the moment when he will once again turn to the dark side. Anakin's internal struggle is mirrored by the external pressures of a galaxy still recovering from the Empire's reign. His presence is a reminder of the past that many would rather forget, but also a symbol of the possibility of change. This duality makes Anakin a figure of both inspiration and fear, and his future remains uncertain. As the galaxy teeters on the edge of a new conflict, a crisis emerges that forces Anakin to confront his past once and for all. A group of Imperial remnants, led by a former Inquisitor who refuses to accept the Empire's fall, manages to capture a New Republic outpost. They demand the return of their Dark Lord Darth Vader to lead them, threatening to unleash devastation if their demands are not met. Anakin is faced with a choice: confront these remnants and risk falling back into the dark side, or him, trying to draw out the darkness that once consumed him. The Inquisitor invokes memories of Vader's power, reminding Anakin of the fear he once instilled across the galaxy. The temptation to reclaim that power is strong, especially as the Inquisitor's forces press the attack, threatening innocent lives. But Anakin, now more resolute than ever, resists the pull of the dark side. He draws upon the teachings Luke has imparted, focusing on the light, on the love he has for his children, and on the desire to make amends for his past. The battle becomes not just a physical struggle but a spiritual one, as Anakin fights to maintain his connection to the light. In a decisive moment, Anakin disarms the Inquisitor, but instead of delivering a killing blow, he offers his hand in peace. He urges the Inquisitor to abandon the dark side just as he did. However, the Inquisitor, consumed by hatred and unable to let go of the past, refuses. Anakin is left with no choice and ends the threat, but not without feeling the weight of every life he has taken. The battle is won, but Anakin knows that the war within himself is ongoing. This victory, however, marks a significant step in his redemption. By choosing the light and sparing those he could have easily destroyed, he proves to himself, and to the galaxy, that he is no longer Darth Vader. He is Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi, and a man seeking redemption. The defeat of the Imperial remnants becomes a turning point in how the galaxy views Anakin Skywalker. While there are still many who cannot forgive his past, there is a growing recognition of his efforts to atone for his sins. Some in the New Republic, influenced by Anakin's actions, begin to soften their stance, acknowledging that redemption is possible even for those who have fallen so far. Luke and Leia, too, find a sense of closure. While Leia still grapples with the complexities of her feelings toward her father, she begins to see the man he has become rather than the monster he once was. Their relationship remains complicated, but there is now a foundation of understanding and perhaps the beginnings of forgiveness. The New Republic, after much debate, decides not to execute Anakin, but instead allows him to live out his days in relative solitude, under the watchful eye of the Jedi Order. This decision is not without controversy, but it is seen by many as a testament to the Republic's commitment to justice tempered with mercy. With the threat of the Empire's remnants diminished, Luke's focus returns to the Jedi Order. Anakin, now fully embraced as a mentor, plays a crucial role in its formation.